What's up guys, welcome back, another RB episode, part 2 of this head, basically complete head recondition I suppose. So yeah, first thing to do, I'm going to get all this old gaskety crap off the head with a scraper, good old scrape, and basically just clean up this head surface nice and good, and that way I can give it a final good hit with brake clean, make sure everything's nice and clean before we can start reassembling everything. So. Alrighty, so what you're looking for when you're doing that is basically, you're never going to get all of this stuff off without actually decking the surface, like getting a machine shop to go over it I suppose. But what you're looking for is just to make sure there's no lip at all. You shouldn't be able to feel any lip at all. So as long as it's all feathered and pretty much gone. So now that that's done, I'm just going to blow this, give this one last blowout with the air, give it one last hit with some brake clean, and then after that we're ready to start putting it back together. Alright, so now that's over with, the next thing to do is to install the new valve stem seals in the head. So I've got new valve stem seals here, which came with our VRS gasket kit. In this one, the black ones here are for your exhaust side, and the brassy brown coloured ones, they're for your intake. So, exhaust is this side here, so pretty much just want to get them. The exhaust ones generally will sort of sometimes push on. If not, same as all seals, get a appropriately sized socket and make sure that they go down nice and evenly. Oh, fuck. Before you do this, you put your shims in. Amateur mistake. Don't do that, guys.
Oh, fucking amateur hour over here.
Yeah, it's late. Before you go ahead and put your seals on, you make sure that you put your shims back in.
I seem to remember someone saying that when we removed them, eh?
Yeah, I think it was even me. Alright, so start with exhaust I suppose. Put them on his tidy. Nice and yeah, that'll do. Pretty stable. Yeah, nice. So basically, because you laid them out so nicely, they just get picked up, cleaned up with a nice clean rag. And in they go. Like so. Oh, that seal's nice and tight, which is exactly what you want.
Tight, tight like a tiger.
Tight like a tiger.
Is it just me, or do you reckon socks are getting worse?
Socks?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You know, you wear them on your feet. Socks.
You mean just like the quality of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I was like, well, mine have all pretty much been the same since I bought them.
It's just, yeah, I reckon that socks are getting worse. Just as a general observation.
What do you reckon, YouTube? Do you reckon socks are getting worse? How long has it been since you bought some socks? Let us know in the comments.
Well, it's just like, I don't know. I swear socks used to last me like ages, and now I seem to be buying, like, have to buy a new pair like every other week just because they get holes in them and stuff. Well, you even buy hole-proof socks now, and they get holes in them. And they're like $30 for 3 pairs.
You are useless, Eric Bowen.
Bullshit. You'd think sock technology would be advancing.
Here we are going backwards. All right, so just as they came apart, on goes the compressor. Make sure it's lined up. Nice.
Yeah, this is where you can have. Do you want me to do it from this side?
Yeah, maybe. Just because I'm leaning over the wrong side here. Rex going to give me a hand. No, you're not quite on that retainer very well. Yep. And pop him down, lock him off. There he is. Be very wary. Don't stand in front of it. This is no LS. If that spring goes, it'll be gone. It's no crappy LS valve spring. This is an RB valve spring. All right, then your retainer obviously goes the right way up and sits in its little.
You'd have to try pretty hard to mess that one up.
Retaining collet. Well, if you put it upside down, you're going to know about it because your spring's going to not stay there really. All right. Then you just want to slowly release, and it locks itself on the retainer. Boom. Rinse and repeat 6 times.
Ad nauseum.
As with just about everything with a straight 6, rinse and repeat 6 times. And then turn it over, and then we're going to do it another 6 times. Alright, so that's exhaust side done. Looking great. So, flip over, and do intakes. Great! Everyone's going to be like, wow man, your RB30 has so much compression. And we're like, thanks, I just did my head.
Got no exhaust valve stem cells.
All new valve stem cells, the seats are really nice, compressor's really nice, no air leaks at all.
Thanks.
Thanks.
The double springs are not super heavy.
Still better than most stock springs. Hey. Alright. Well, I can confirm that they rev to like 7.75 and don't float.
Yeah,
Which is, you know, better than an LS or a Barra.
Mate, why have you got such a hate on for LSs tonight?
No, just for the valve springs.
Just leave them alone.
Literally just the valve springs.
What have they ever done to you?
Been shit.
Fucking, they were not.
Stock LS valve springs.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty shit.
They're shit.
Well, no one's perfect.
I know RB30s are pretty close.
God. Fucking riding that RB dick, aren't you?
All my life. Only the 30s, but. Alright, so that's the valves in the head. So next thing is to install the cam. In it. In it. So cam's about to go in. So as always, assembly lube, assembly lube, assembly lube. We have a new O-ring for the retainer plate for the cam. So I'll move the camera around to the front of the head, which gives you a better view of that as it goes in. And we're just going to put assembly lube on the bearings surfaces, or I mean, they're not actually bearings in an RB30 head, they're just a rolling surface, but we're going to assembly lube it as it goes through, so make sure you've got a pretty good shot of that. So I'm pretty sure that didn't actually record it all then, because my GoPro's been a piece of crap, but basically cam's in, just slide it in till like your rolling surfaces are just on this side of the caps, then we lubed it all up with assembly lube and then slotted it in, and the retaining plate bolts in. Pretty sure torque settings for these are about 10 foot-pound. I just do them with a firm one-handed grip. A firm one hand is what I do. So now we're just going to clean all the lobes. We're just going to chuck a little bit of lube on the lobes as well. All this lube just really helps startup go a lot smoother. As a lot of you who have built cars would know, usually startup's a bit of a lengthy process, because normally, very rarely does everything actually go right and the car starts straight away. So sometimes all these components have got to turn in there for quite a while before it actually starts, gets proper oil pressure, so it's really nice just to have this bit of assembly lube on everything. So Rex is going to go ahead and lube up all them lobes, and then it's time to get the lifter and rocker retainer plate on. Yeah. Alright, so all the lobes just got a little bit of lube on them now, so time to start getting the rest of this head back together. Getting there, getting there. Alright, time now to reinstall the cam gear. This one's obviously pretty easy. It's got a dowel, so you can't fuck up your timing too bad, provided you do everything else right. So on it goes. By the way, torque these down to 15 foot-pound, and this cam gear's the same, 15 foot-pound. And what else? The cam retainers, we did the 10 foot-pound. I think that's all we've put in it. Alternatively, guys, if you're by yourself and you have a bit of trouble doing that, you can just torque it up once it's on the car and you've got a belt on it. If you are going to do that, it pays just to put some masking tape around one of them and just write a reminder that they have not been torqued down, because otherwise you could be in a spot of trouble. So if you're going to do that, just make sure you leave yourself a note. But there you go, that's more or less pretty much one head reconditioned. So there you go, guys, one reconditioned RB head. It only took us an afternoon. So again, it's another one of those things that takes time. It's time consuming, as with everything. Building motors takes ages. Anyway, this head is essentially pretty much ready to go on now, and as you can see, she is schmicko. All the valves are sealing very nicely. Very nice, very good.
Cool and good.
Very cool and good. So I suppose now next thing's going to be get this bloody thing on the motor. Alright, so just prep these surfaces. As you've seen, everything's been scraped to the point where it's nice and smooth. All we're going to do from here is basically just brake clean, give it a nice good clean with a clean rag and some brake clean. Same with the head, and that's pretty much all we do. and we put it on dry. Just as long as everything's really clean, everything's good. Also, we just decided to actually measure the end float because I hadn't measured it because I was at the point I'd rather didn't know. But it's actually not even as bad as I thought. It's still a lot, like a ridiculous amount. We ended up with 11 thou, which is like double what you would want. But it's actually less than I thought. I thought it was going to be closer to 20 thou. So I'm actually pretty happy with that. So it's just going to be a bit of a slapper, but should be good. Alright, so what we're doing here is just using some ARP fastener lube for these head bolts. Always good. Good thing to do. So, just going to set them all down in there and just get them up to the point where they're just not quite tight for the starters, is what I'm going to do. And then I'll show you basically the sequence. So the sequence is to start in the center and work your way out. Work your way out as opposing diagonals is essentially how you just work your way out, and that's how you tighten it. Now the setting for stand, obviously depending on who you make your stand, your head bolts, sorry, is going to depend on the torque setting. Whether they're studs or bolts will change as well. For these, to my knowledge, they're standard. They have a weird spirally thing on them, but to my knowledge, these bolts are just standard bolts. So standard torque spec is 65 foot-pound. Obviously you don't want to go straight into it and do everything 65 foot-pounds. You do it in stages. So what I'm going to do here is do first to 22 foot-pounds. Then I'll probably do like 55 foot-pounds and then up to 65 foot-pounds. So do a pass at each level. So that's about 24. So I'll start there. The easiest way to do basically anything on an engine while it's on an engine stand is to stand at one end of the engine and then pull it towards yourself. So there you go, that's 20. I like to stand at the back just because it means I can lock the wheels with my feet as well as basically use my knees and legs and hips to lock the engine stand so it's not going to move.
Yeah, not a big problem at 20 foot-pound, but once you start getting up around 60, 70, 80,
yeah, it starts to get a bit hairy.
or if you're doing the Windsor, I think the main bolts on a Windsor are about 95 foot-pound, or maybe even 110.
Yeah, it gets pretty wild. So as you see, when I change opposing, I go opposing diagonals. And you just work your way out doing that. Alright, so I'll turn that up to 50. I'll do it on 50. 50 sounds good to me. Alright, so here we are, final pass, 65 pound. Right, we are done here with the head. There you go guys, got the head on the motor, recoat head after all that, so sleeping well at the moment knowing that pretty much the whole engine's going to be pretty fresh and pretty good, and especially now knowing that that end float's not actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. Rex is still pretty terrified of that sort of end float, aren't you?
I'm sort of terrified. It's just
Like I said, it is still like double what you would normally want, but not bad.
It might just be a little bit clunky on your clutch in and out. You might just get a little bit of feedback through it. But
We'll certainly find out. We'll test it. So that's all it's going to be in this episode, guys. I'm going to go to bed. It's getting late. But tune in next time. Going to look at getting the sump done, get the bung in it, get the sump and pick up on it, and we'll put the cover on it too. I've got the fittings for the breathers on the cover, so I'll probably go down the Skyline and get them tomorrow. We'll get that sorted. So keep tuned for that episode. It'll be coming soon. Don't forget about stickers. If you want to buy stickers, I'll leave a link in the description where you can get some. And so yeah, thumbs up, smash like for awesome RB30 awesomeness, and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.